short clip by Bishop Dag Heward-Mills Ministries. Discover how God can change your life forever.
Recently, I was thinking about a brother. I remember I spoke to him. He traveled, he lived abroad for some time. When he came, I asked him, what do you want to do with your life? He said to me, I believe that God has called me to teach pastors. I said, really? He's called to teach pastors and ministers. And I said, you know, how can I despise somebody's calling? I said, it's a great calling. But so I asked him whether he had heard of Reverend Kofi Kwanzaa. He said no. And I asked him whether he had heard of Benny Hinn. He said yes. So I asked him that if Reverend Kofi Kwanzaa is holding a ministers' conference to teach pastors, and Benny Hinn is holding a ministers' conference to teach pastors, which of these two does he think people will attend? And he said Benny Hinn. And I said, why wouldn't people go to Kofi Kwanzaa's ministers' conference? And he said, because they don't know him. So I told him, you know what? If you want to be somebody who teaches or ministers to pastors, be a pastor yourself and learn the ministry practically. One day people will listen to you when you are telling them about the ministry. Are you listening to me?
I am.
So he took my advice. Then I remember another brother, another situation. It's a brother who says that God has called him to really do the work of God. So I said, you know, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do what you say. You say God has called you. So I invited him and he came. One day, I was there when I'm casting my mind back. I'm now beginning to wonder how exactly this brother went out of the ministry. But today, as I'm talking, he doesn't preach. No, I mean, this is somebody who left his job. In fact, he left our church, went into another church. Then, whilst he was in the other church, the people realized that he was a kind of like a pastor or a leader. So he decided to move to a branch. When he moved to the branch, after a while, the branch pastor realized that no, this guy is a main person. Okay, so he ran away back to the main church. His cell leader tried to get him to do it. No, he doesn't want to do. His wife would encourage him. No. For years. And I asked myself that, is it not the person who said, you know, God has called him? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I am telling you that this thing that they said that the angel was sent from God. You see, if God sends you, woe to you if you don't go. I mean, even in my house, when I call and I shout, I shout, whatever, and they don't answer. You know, sometimes I grow wild. I say, look, did you hear me when I was shouting? I'm not mad to be shouting in the house. I'll be shouting, hey, this, that. I need some response. That's it. I can't just be calling into the air and I don't get any response.
Hey.
How much more God is calling and you are not responding? Something bad can happen to you. Are you listening to me? So a brother said to me once, he said, these people who claim that God has called them, how can it be that they are on the ministry road, then suddenly they just go off? Then does it mean that God isn't calling them anymore? Then I will say to you, if God is really the one who called you and you have gone off like that, then you are in great danger. Your life is in danger. It's just like in my house. If I am calling and you don't mind, you are in danger. Because soon and very soon, I mean, and they know me, I don't talk a lot like my wife. My wife can talk to me. I say, look, this, I'm just telling you, when you cross this line out, I don't have a lot of time to talk much. I call you, you don't want to come, then go to a place where you would like them to call you.
Exactly.
It's very easy.
Absolutely. Very simple. It's as simple as that.
If God has called you, you a human mortal, and you don't respond, you are in danger.
Preach.
If God has sent you and you don't go, you are in danger. Are you listening to me? So those who claim that God has sent you, you are claiming a very big thing, which you should be careful about. It may be better that you don't claim that thing. It may be better that you just say, you know, this church, if you don't become a pastor, they will see you as some way. So that's why I become a pastor. You may be safer. But if you say God called you to be a pastor and you will attend church only once on Sunday or once every 2 weeks, you must be afraid, because God has called you to be a pastor and you are not, you must be scared. Because, and not that the bishop or somebody has to check on you and see what you are doing. It's because you don't have the mind or the understanding that it is God who sent you. That is why we can steal God's money, because we think it is the church's money or it is somebody's money, but we don't think that it is God that I'm taking his money. You see, that makes the difference.